Hello and welcome back to the channel, this time from Tikal, the north of Guatemala. For 72 hours gonna be exploring this part of the country and I'll be sharing with you all there is to do here. Join me in this episode as we explore the north of Guatemala, the Mayan kingdom. But first, let's go back to the past, as yesterday we were in the island of Flores exploring the town and the lake surrounding it. Join me. Many times, hotels and travel agencies will try to sell you tours and activities that you can, in reality, do by yourself. For example, today we are exploring all the lake surrounding the Isla de Flores, and a travel agency tried to sell us this tour for about 125 quetzales. And now we're going to take the public boat for only 10 quetzales, 10% of the price. I'm not sure if I've ever said this, but when I'm in a public transport like this, emerging market style, I am truly happy. Over there's the island of Flores. We are spending there the night and we will explore it later in the day. This lake, Petén, is an ecological wonder and it's part of the Mayan biosphere ecosystem, which is home to many endemic types of fish and birds that inhabit all this lake behind me. One of the things that the tour includes is a lookup point, and now we're climbing up there, and it's a free activity, so you can, if you're on a budget, you can save a bit of money just doing that. Take the local boat, climb the 50 minutes or so to the lookup point and enjoy it by yourself. No need to pay a company. A small change of plans. I was following my girlfriend, and when we checked maps, of course, we were not going to the Mirador, we were going the exact opposite direction. But now we found this Mayan site. Apparently it's free to enter. We haven't paid anything. So as a backup plan, it's not too bad. It only took us 5-minute deviation. Now let's explore this and we will go to El Mirador later. That in the back is the island of Flores, the lake surrounding it, and here is one of the many cenotes that are spread all over this area of the Mayan Biosphere Reserve. That includes Guatemala, Mexico, and Belize. This place is still under archaeological research, and that's why probably it is free, and you can see the workers excavating this site. Let me show you what they are doing. We have been talking with one of the archaeologists here, and this is the main square of this Mayan village. And they're excavating several of the pyramids that you can see around us. They've been working on the one just behind me for over 3 years now, and they still haven't excavated much of it. So it will take years and years to get the whole thing taken out of the ground. But it's super interesting, to be honest. And this, if I'm not mistaken, is a tool they use to filter the sand and see if there's something in it. It is quite interesting because in this sort of archaeological site, it's not really a park like Tikal that we will go tomorrow, but they made this like wooden passerelle where you can walk around and you can get close to the excavations. Some are covered, some are available, and there's people working there. You cannot, of course, enter, but you can get really close to them and maybe talk to the people if you want. What I find incredible is how nature retakes those pyramids and then trees grow on top of that. So I don't know if, for example, this hill, is there a pyramid below it? I have no idea, but it could be. It could be, and that is something I find incredible, the power of nature and how fast it recovers terrain. So this is what I was talking about. There's some excavations, and here is still taken by nature. It is not excavated yet, and the trees have grown over the ruins. In another part of this Tayasal park, you can find remains that date back to 1500 BC. It's incredibly old, and this place has been inhabited for about 1500 to 2000 years. That's what one of the archaeologists told us. Unfortunately, he also told us that we cannot share any images of this site in social media, so I cannot show it to you because it's owned by the ministry. However, I find it incredible that you can come here. People are so nice. You can have a look. There's these walking paths, and people incredibly nice to us. They've been explaining if we asked. So if you're here in Flores, I think this is a great way to see how our archaeologists work and how the excavations happen. So it'll give you a bit more context when you visit Tikal. And it's really just a 5-minute boat ride from the island of Flores. So yeah, come here, check it out. I think it's well worth it. So you can see there the excavation of the pyramid, and all that is still untouched. That will take 15 to 20 years more, that's what they've said. So basically, why is it covered like that? Is because the Mayans covered part of it, and you can see it in the layers of the ground, how a bit was covered by the own Mayas and then nature did the rest. Thanks Marie for taking the wrong turn and bringing me to this absolute gem. It's incredible. If you come here, absolutely come to this site because it's beautiful, people are super nice, and you can see a site of this region that you cannot see in Tikal. Actually, how they excavate, how they do it. You can see their resources are limited, but what they do is incredible. And they're so friendly, so nice, willing to show us what they're doing and what they're excavating and the meaning of it. I find it absolutely incredible. It is really, really hot. One more stair, one more, and we are arriving to a mirador. There it is. Nothing over there. It's the island of Flores, and all this is the lake Petén. After exploring that old Mayan settlement and the lookup point, and as I said, it is incredibly hot in here and humid, we decided to come here to a beach just to chill a bit, relax before this afternoon we explore the island of Flores itself. Pepsi is sponsoring a beach. Now that we're back in Isla de Flores, let me tell you something about this island. This place is absolutely tiny, only 375 meters times 300 meters. So it's absolutely tiny, but it has this gorgeous, really beautiful colonial architecture. But this place, as small as it is, also has its historical importance. This town, Isla de Flores, was the last Mayan stronghold to resist against the Spanish conquistadors. It wasn't until 1697 that they managed to conquer this place, almost 200 years after the arrival of the conquistadors. And when they arrived, sorry about the birds, when they arrived, they destroyed everything. And this, behind me, is one of the last signs of Mayan culture here. After the arrival of the Spanish conquistadors, this town was transformed in what it is today, a mix of Mayan, and there's a children shouting, a mix of Mayan and the Spanish Baroque culture, with all the narrow streets and Baroque they transform in what it is today, with all the narrow streets. Bloody children! It got transformed in what it is today, with all its narrow streets and colonial architecture. Oh no, don't do it in a park, please. Don't record YouTube videos in a park, it's not gonna end up well. The first 24 hours have elapsed, and so have the exploration of this small island and its surroundings. But don't leave just yet, because tomorrow we are going to the main reason why you're watching this video probably, which is the old ancient city of Tikal. See you tomorrow morning. Tikal, the widely considered Mayan capital that spreads over 16 square kilometers and that we are going to discover today together. So join me on this second day as we explore Tikal. You can visit Tikal at different times of the day, but we chose the early morning one. So we left Flores at 4:30 a.m. just to enter here where the park opens at 6. You can come earlier than that even for a sunrise tour, but the problem is a lot more expensive. The ticket is more expensive and the tour itself is more expensive. So we decided to come for the early morning one, 6 a.m. Cool temperature so far, but it will be very hot during the day. So wish me luck. So far we have seen a few animals here and there. Unfortunately the action camera doesn't take them well, but the guide is insisting that this is not only an archaeological tour, we also need to be aware of our surroundings, all the animals and all the jungle that is surrounding us. Inhabited for about 2,000 years, the city of Tikal was abandoned in the 10th century after Jesus Christ. So when the Spanish conquistadors arrived here in Guatemala, the whole city was already eaten by the jungle. Thus, the Spanish couldn't find any of these structures and they didn't destroy them. That's why today they're still preserved under the canopy, under the tree. Only 15% of the ruins of Tikal have been excavated so far, and the rest are still underground. The interesting thing, there are no plans to excavate them anymore because they're very preserved underground than if they're open to the elements. So yeah, no plans to excavate them. Whatever is out today is what we will be able to see probably for a very long time. I'm not sure how it will be if you come later in the day, but one of the things I'm liking about this early morning tour, first of all, is temperature. So far it's been okay, a bit hot. It starts to get a bit hot, but it's fine. And the other thing is I was expecting thousands of people, and so far our group is about 15 to 20 people, and there's not a lot of other groups, so you're basically on your own here, and it does improve the experience, to be honest. This is a bit like Disney World. You can go to Lost World, or you can go to Temple 4, or you can go to the historical Temple of Toilets. It is 8:45 and it's starting to get hot, and at this very moment we are going to climb the tallest pyramid in Tikal. 70 something meters, of which we cannot climb to the top obviously, so we're gonna do about 50 on this traditional Mayan elevator. It's called the stairs. Look at that, how could the Spanish conquistadors find this if it was all covered by the jungle? It's impossible to see actually. All those temples that you can see in the distance now, all those have been extracted recently. to think that you can climb some of these structures, but as long as they don't damage the monument itself, I think it's a good way to interact a bit more with the site and to understand what it stands for and how it was back in the day. There is a monkey in that tree. Monkey. This place is also interesting because it is still used today as a Mayan religious site. So Mayan ceremonies happened in pits like that one all over this city. So it is still, you can see signs where Mayan religious leaders can come here and perform its ceremonies, asking permission obviously, but they can do it. It's still allowed today. What I love as well is how they left a bit excavated and a bit still covered by nature. It is quite fantastic. Now I want to see this cat. Meow. This place is absolutely massive and we have about 5 or 6 hours in here. I don't think we will have enough time to even scratch the surface because it is huge. You can sleep in the complex, well, not in the complex, but just at the entrance. And it's a bit more expensive, but if you have the budget and your time is limited, I think it's a good idea to sleep here. You have more time, you get to explore the site from early on until late afternoon or something like that, and you have more time. Because now we're just following the guide, and I'm completely lost. I don't know where we are. Everything is scattered with ruins and monuments and temples and whatnot. It is gorgeous, but I would love to have more time to explore it on my own. And this is what I like. Look at that. Absolutely empty. The tour lasted about 3 hours or so, and now we ended here at the main square of Tikal, and we have a bit of time to roam and to explore the rest of the city by our own. Again, that is not enough. The Mayans taught us a lot of things, but one of the most important things the Mayans taught us is to be careful when going down. I'm going down slowly and carefully, as the Mayans taught us. Little update here from our hotel. We arrived back at Isla de Flores at around 2 p.m. after doing the Tikal thing. It was amazing, just do it. It was very good, very good. And I was just chilling here by the hammocks. And I was chilling, reading a book. Life was happy, life was good. And then obviously it started raining. And it started raining, you can see here the roof, but it was raining inside, which was absolutely annoying. So anyway, we ended up having a nap, and all the plans for this afternoon, which involved probably like kayaking or something like that, are not happening anymore. So we'll just have a chill afternoon, have a drink or something maybe, and then tomorrow we are going to another archaeological site. I think it's called Yaha or Yaxha or La Yaha. I'll try to learn the name by tomorrow. So anyway, see you tomorrow. And yeah, let's continue the video because it didn't finish yet. Last day in Petén after a good old lazy morning, and now we are going to explore the ruins of Yaha or Yaxha or Yaha, something like that. Anyway, I don't speak Mayan yet, so I'll do my best to share with you how it is. It took us about 2 hours to arrive from Isla de Flores, and this is a lot more jungly than there, and a lot more rough than Tikal, for example. You can see it's not as popular, there's not as many people, there's not as many tourists. Once you arrive, it's a terrible road for about half an hour. Really, really terrible. But once you arrive here, you basically need to fill a small form just for information, and you pay the ticket. That's 80 quetzales each, or about 10 euros or so. And yeah, you are in the visitor center where we are now. First surprise, we're about to jump in a boat. So a bit of practical information. We paid 120 quetzales each for the tour yesterday and 140 for today. I'm not sure if you can do it on your own this one because of the boat and all the logistics. But usually what you can do is get several tours with the same company, and then you can usually negotiate a price. The others we checked were asking 200, 260 quetzales for today, so 140 I think it's reasonable, plus tickets. All that is just the tour and the guide. The tickets go on the side. Really jungly now. A short climb through the jungle and I'm already covered in sweat, but we managed to see a few monkeys, ants and avocado trees and stuff like that. It was pretty nice, but God, it's hot in here. Humid and hot. I don't think they can be seen from here, but there are 2 monkeys there. Some Mayan transportation devices are still preserved here in the jungle despite the humidity and despite the conditions. Look at that. The mighty Mayan Suzuki. There is evidence of humans being around this area since around 1500 BC to around 800 after Christ. That's a long period of humans being here. And also a traditional Mayan scaffolding. You can really clearly hear the sound of the jungle, monkeys, birds, all kinds of animals that inhabit this land. And of course the pyramids that archaeologists are still excavating or renovating. So obviously everyone is noticing the big pyramid. But if you just turn your head around, there's more structures here that haven't been excavated or fully excavated yet, and they're still covered by the vegetation, monkeys, birds, whatever that is. Incredible, look at that. And our group is solo here, there's nobody else. It's beautiful. And this here is the back of the pyramid we were just on top of. You can see how the vegetation is still covering this side. You wouldn't know what is behind. I am really enjoying this place, even more than Tikal, I think. It is smaller for sure. You don't have the big pyramids or the big monuments and all the excavations going on, but it's magical. I don't know, being here in the middle of the rainforest, in the middle of the jungle, you can hear all the small things. There's no tourists, virtually no one. We are just 15 people, something like that, 15-20 people with a guide, no one else. And you hear the jungle. It's curious, and you see all these small monuments that are not as spectacular as Tikal, but have more soul, I would say. I don't know. If you have the time, I would recommend you coming to Yaha. We haven't seen everything yet. We still have the sunset and a few more sites to explore, but so far the impression is really good. I don't know, what do you think? Have you been here? Did you come? Would you come? Would you spend one more day in the north of Guatemala just to see this? Let me know what you think. Not sure if you can hear that. Oh wow, but there's a howler monkey in the distance. The sounds of the jungle, nothing compared to yesterday. And Unfortunately, it's very hard to see a jaguar, but they also inhabit these lands. It would be amazing to see one, as long as it doesn't eat us. That would be a deal breaker, wouldn't it? And do you know how the Mayans were great astronomers? Well, do you remember how the world was going to end in 2012 or something like that, a few years back? Well, they missed that one. And the good thing of this place compared to Tikal is that we get a bit of free time. So what are we gonna do? Of course, we're gonna climb some pyramids. That one first, that one second. How many times have you had a chance to climb a Mayan pyramid? I would say not many. Everyone is interested in climbing the other pyramid. Look at that, tons of people up there. I would say this one is even better. I'm by my own and I'm looking at the biggest, larger pyramid in here, so can't go wrong with that. So now, from the bottom of 3 Mayan pyramids, let me give you my conclusions about this trip, about this area of the Petén. If you're thinking about coming here, spending a few days in the north of Guatemala, it is gorgeous, so don't hesitate to come here if you're doing the tour of the country. Do you need 3 days to do this? Probably not. You can rush it. You can do Tikal in the morning and this place Yaha in the afternoon. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it because you will be tired, you wake up very early, and then you have to do this until sunset. And in your mind it's likely that both combined into one, and they're completely different sites and different history to them. You can also skip the first day if you want. Flores is a tiny island and you can skip through it very fast. But if you have the time, why not? 3 days, take it easy, chill, enjoy the island, do some kayaking, enjoy the food, enjoy the archaeological sites and get some sleep. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you again in the next video.